So I am a Guinean innovator who came to Kenya as a leap of faith to pursue my dream of being a part of the innovation ecosystem, helping Kenya achieve its vision for 2030 of being the hub of innovation of Africa. So I used to live in Guinea, where I had started the country's first agro-tourism retreat. With some friends, we started the first social entrepreneurship training program, train hundreds of young people in social entrepreneurship. And then on my farm, we would host a conference every year where the best of those we've trained would come. They would learn about social entrepreneurship and innovation, and then there'll be a competition. And sponsors and donors, through the money we collected, they would get startup funding. So through Dare to Innovate, we funded the first generation of social entrepreneurs in Guinea. Then I got very passionate about innovation, transformed the agro-tourism retreat into an agro-business training center, which became the first private agricultural training center in the country. I was selected for President Obama's Young African Leadership Initiative. 50,000 people applied for the program. I was amongst the first 500 who were selected. And I was fortunate also to have been amongst the 100 out of the 500 who were selected for an internship.
Jamila is not a fashion model. That's not. She started a door-to-door laundry company to employ more youth and teach them entrepreneurial skills, and she hopes to take what she learned during her time at Dartmouth University to meet her goal of getting 1,000 youth to work in or run their own business. So we're proud to be your partner today.
So as I went through the leadership program, interacted with a lot of people, I was hearing a lot about Kenya and a lot about innovation in Kenya. And that was really exciting me because back home, many people didn't believe in this vision that I had of, a mass innovation initiative, training millions of people in entrepreneurship and innovation, and that would change the country. Like we could leapfrog our economy if we trained more people how to think innovatively. But when I saw that, the Constitution of 2010 in Kenya, the vision of the country for Vision 2030, projects like Konza City that were supposed to be built and developed, I saw like what now people call a Wakanda, right? So me, that's what I saw. I saw Nairobi like Wakanda. Wakanda didn't even exist at that time, but I was seeing flying cars. I was seeing so many things in my head, and I was like, I can help that country achieve that, right? And so after when I went to IBM had the guy who was in charge of my internship. He was the head of innovation ecosystems worldwide. So he had a lot of data about what was happening across the world in terms of innovation, different new technologies and all that. So he asked me, because IBM wanted, around 2014, they wanted to increase their ecosystem in Africa, right? They wanted to be more present in African countries. So I started doing research to build this proposal that I could help them do that, right? So I was really passionate about it because I was like, if this is an opportunity to help IBM push its ecosystem across the continent, where would I start, right? So I was looking at Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, Egypt, Kenya. And from all the data I used to see, Kenya still was standing out for me, right? For someone else, maybe they would have said Nigeria because of the large population. And if you have a large human population and you have a higher education system that also has technical courses like IT and science, then you definitely have a high number of engineers, right? So you have engineering schools and you have a high population like Egypt, like South Africa, like Nigeria, you're definitely going to have a high number of engineers. But to me, you can't evaluate the growth of a country in terms of innovation only on the number of engineers, right? So you say, okay, India has a lot of engineers, so India is innovative. Well, yeah, if you have a lot of people, it means there's a lot of people trying new things, right? So, but to me, innovation is not just about doing a lot of things. It's also about how open are you to failure, right? How is the environment convenient to foreigners? So to different types of ideas, right? What are your human rights? Like is it a authoritarian regime or is it a democratic regime? Have you had different transitions of power, so different groups of people have the ability to express different types of ideas? To me, that's what innovation is. And when you think of innovation from a continent or a worldwide perspective, or a national perspective, a country, for it to be innovative, has to have a stable political scene, has to have an economy that is based on a diverse economy, so multiple sectors, not dependent only on mining or dependent only on finance or dependent only on one thing. And then you have to have an environment that attracts people from other places to come. And Nairobi is a melting pot, right? So you have people from Asia, from America, from everywhere, because you can find the same lifestyle that you would have in New York or in Shanghai or even in Johannesburg. You find it in Nairobi, right? With all the malls and all those things. So it attracts a lot of talent. And talent wants to go where they can be able to contribute. And then there's a lot of people solving problems. So there's problems in Kibera. There's so many problems to solve, right? There's the wildlife. So there's so many things that people can contribute to. So to me, because of those factors outside of technology, because technology alone is not innovation, right? Technology is just a means of innovation. I knew that Kenya was going to lead innovation in Africa. So my basis was on Kenya. And so I did this presentation, but the corporate environments are really slow, and so they didn't have it like in their short-term plans to do anything about it. Later on, some of the things I saw them do it in Africa. So like partnering with innovation centers, creating a lab in universities and things like that. Those were things that I had already put in the proposal. That rather than coming and creating your own innovation center, find the innovation centers that are there, create your own space within that innovation center. But that experience was definite. I was like, I'm going to Kenya, like finished. And I had a ticket to go back home, right? Paid for, right? I was in Boston. I was living in the financial area, very good apartment with my colleague from Kenya and all. We're dreaming about what we're gonna do, build companies and. So me, I was like, finished. I called my mom, told her, I'm leaving you everything I've done in Guinea, right? Because I've always been invested in helping my family, and my family, they've always been entrepreneurs, so I've always been in the family businesses, right? And I even everything I built, I found a way to make it part of the family, right? So I was like, this is something I can leave. There's no problem. Like, leave it to the family business. And I was done. I was like, I'm not going back to Guinea. I have to go forward to this dream. And so yeah, I canceled my ticket, and I stayed in the US for another 3 or 4 weeks, moving from one friend's couch to staying with an aunt on her, in one of her rooms. But with this vision that I'm going to Kenya, I don't know what I'll find there. I don't know anyone there, really know anyone, just the people I've met through the program. But I'll make it. I'm going to go and I'll become one of the best innovators in that country. I'm going to help that country reach its Vision 2030 of becoming the hub of innovation in Africa. And then I'm going to take that knowledge and go and teach it to other people. So being a guy who could impact 1 billion lives, because that's my goal, right? And then transform a country, help transform other countries. That's how I think. That's the only thing I think about, right? And I want to share that. I want my story and my life to be an inspiration for other people to also believe that we're all born different. We all have different goals, all have different dreams, all have different capabilities, and God uses us differently, right? And for me, He uses me to help His people, right? And so I took the leap of faith. I came here with $100, and that's how my journey started in Kenya. And it's a very long journey, with a lot of ups and downs and a lot of challenges, a lot of difficulties. But what I look at is where I am today, right? I'm still alive. I'm still innovating. I'm still dreaming big, right? I've been able to train some of the best young entrepreneurs across this continent, coach them, mentor them. I've been a part of conferences, events that have pushed the Kenyan innovation system and the African innovation system forward. I am well respected in the community of entrepreneurs and innovators in Kenya. My biggest happiness, or let's say what I'm the most grateful for being in Kenya, is one, Kenya gave me a wife. Kenya gave me a life, right? Kenya gave me a wife